it really makes the creative side of my brain work. I have like a thirst for updating things, rehabbing things, creating something new, making something better, like just generally speaking. And I've always been drawn to homes and architecture and construction. I wish I could actually physically do more of it myself, but between time and lack of skills, I can't. But, I like basically directing and creating something or making something better than it was. So I've done that on my last few houses that I've owned, and we're obviously doing that here in Torrance. And I think especially with the common architecture around here of the 1940s and 50s of just kind of, square boxes and square rooms, and everything was compartmentalized, kind of taking that and improving on it is fun for me, and I really enjoy it. So, and then you have something to show for it. It's tangible. It's and then, hopefully this is a new beginning of a small real estate empire where you can take this one and use it to help you get other ones, whether it generates enough cash flow that you can then go buy one without selling it, or you've added enough value and the market's appreciated that you can sell this one and go buy a bigger one with more units, therefore generating more income. That's the ultimate goal, and that's the example my mom set for me, and real estate investment in general is how you set yourself up for the rest of your life, is kind of taking these things and building on it. So not literally, but figuratively using this investment to help spur other investments. Yeah, I think it's identify what you can afford. I mean, obviously that's, so what can you afford? Is there someone you want to, join with, a parent, a family member that has a similar appetite for this, a similar desire, because, two could be stronger than one as far as financial power. But, for me, I'd love to buy a house on the Strand that I could rent out, but I can't afford that. So I bought this place in Torrance that fit my budget, and I saw an opportunity that I can add value to it, and that's what drew me to this. So I defined what I was looking for, and then basically just hunted for that. And then this opportunity presented itself, and I jumped on it, And so, but you got to have all your ducks in a row to be able to jump on it. Do you have the down payment set aside? Have you talked to the lender? What do the rates look like? What do the payments look like? And then, because you need all that information when ultimately you're evaluating these properties. Okay, so my payment is, I'm just throwing out round numbers, it doesn't really apply here, but my payment's $2,000, but the 2 units are going to generate $3,000. So I'm going to be positive right off the bat from day one, assuming they're rented. What if they're not rented? How long is it going to take me to get rented? What do I need to do to get it rented? And all that has to factor in to the money you're spending. So you buy a property for $500,000 and you put the down payment down 20%, let's say, that's $100,000. But does it need work? Does it need paint and carpet? There's probably $15,000 right there, or whatever, $10,000. So you actually need $110,000. And then what is it rent for? What is that covering? How much do you have left over? And then that's how you kind of, generally speaking, evaluate these things. So, and then the question becomes, if you're trying to decide, is real estate the right investment for me? Well, what can I buy with that $100,000? Well, you can go buy a boat, but it's probably not going to appreciate like a house. You could go buy stocks. They go up and down, so it's more, probably a little more risky, but houses go up and down. The key, though, is you go buy $100,000 in Apple stock, you have $100,000 in Apple stock. you go buy $100,000 worth of down payment on a house, you're actually buying a $500,000 asset. So you're leveraging, and that's unique to common investors like ourselves, to have that ability to leverage what our money can do for us. And that's a huge difference. Yeah, I mean, and leverage is a strong superpower, and it can get you in trouble too. So, you use it wisely, use it conservatively, in my humble opinion. I've been bitten by the over leverage bug in my life, and so it's something you want to use sparingly, but it is something you can use to your advantage. I mean, it's the only way, especially in Southern California, most people can afford anything. So it's a very common thing to do. Large banks, make money accessible. Small banks make money accessible. A lot of loans that you would get are backed by the government. That's not the risky part. It's, and because of 2007 and 2008, there's so many more restrictions. You can't really put yourself in bad position like you could before as easily, let's say. But, you want to do your homework. You want to understand, okay, what does this leverage cost, right? And does the rent cover that? In a perfect world, you're beyond covering your mortgage and taxes and expenses, and you're cash positive. Some people will settle for break even, understanding that over time you're going to pay the loan down, so your leverage will shrink and your property will appreciate, therefore creating a wider equity gap. You're working both directions of the equation to create more wealth for you. And then you have a cash flow coming in over time. And that's while you sleep. You're having somebody else, the old cliche is having somebody else pay your mortgage. That's something that is very powerful over a long period of time.